is difficult. So let me be clear about it. People might feel different when they come outside, but in the examination hall, given the type of questions that had come this year, none of the techniques actually works, because they have ensured that only if you are aware about all the concepts, you will be able to answer them. So in this session, I'm going to discuss about geography based questions. Whichever booklet you have, just see the questions and cross check it. So guys, 1 to 2 times we have analyzed it and we have come to the conclusion that these are the correct answers, rather than going through quickly about which options are correct. If you can understand, eliminate and say this option is correct, you will have satisfaction. It may take time, but all the options that you are going to choose here, whatever you have chosen, and if it matches with this, you are absolutely correct. Fine. So the first question is about the lakes and the rivers. So if you open the class notes that I have dictated, and if you look into that, the first most important thing, Jhelum river passes through Ullar Lake, right? So this clearly we have written in the class notes. This is the reason why we dictate, so that when you revise them properly, you can easily mark it. When it comes to Kolleru Lake, I have clearly told you in the class that there will be Godavari and Krishna. In between these two, you get Kolleru Lake. They have given it directly feeds Kolleru Lake. This statement is wrong, right? Meandering of Gandak river formed Kanvar Lake. This is from current affairs point of view, guys, because this is an oxbow lake. And most importantly, this was given what we call as wetland. So because of that, this question was asked. See, in this, these two are correct, only two. The biggest problem this year is with respect to the options. Earlier 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, these were the choices. But now only 1, only 2, this makes the things much more complicated. So this is the reason why most of the students might have not answered properly. So guys, if you have attended the ports class, right? If you have attended the ports class, clearly we have seen certain things. So let me talk about them. We know that there are major ports and minor ports. Major ports are the one which are under central government's control. And when it comes to Kamarajar port, which is also Ennore port, I have clearly told that this is the first major port which is under private, right? Class notes, you can see it's a private thing which wanted to reduce burden on Chennai. So that is the first port. Mundra port is in news because of the Adani Group's issue. Largest privately owned port in India. That is also correct. Vishakhapatnam, largest container port in India. If you see, Vishakhapatnam is one of the deepest port. But I told you, Mumbai is having lots and lots of load. To reduce the load, we opened JNPT, and in JNPT we have modernized, mechanized port. So the largest container port is JNPT. Vishakhapatnam port is the deepest one. That's why not just the things, listening, understanding the concepts also will help you. So here also 2 pairs are correct, guys. Right? And then you see this, I would say a little tricky, because if you are aware, it would be fine. In the notes, teak is clearly mentioned as a deciduous tree, right? Mahua, which is Maduka indica, is also deciduous, no doubt. But jackfruit is evergreen. This is moderately difficult. By fluke, if you have written, it's fine. But only 2. Then, see guys, this question, I just want you to know, I have seen every option, compared the numbers according to 2022, and I am going to explain this. If UPSC has chosen a particular article, and in the particular article, if they have given in a particular way, it may differ. But according to the data from 2022, if we look into it, I'll just tell you, India clearly has more arable land than China. Definitely because we have plains, plateaus, coastal plains, which are more arable compared to China, where you have deserts. Tibet, the Manchurian region, they are not so arable. The proportion of irrigated area, see here, I'll tell you 2 things. They are not telling about the irrigated area. They're talking about proportion of irrigated area. Fine. In China, actually the proportion is 50%. In India, according to 2011, it was 37%. According to today, it is 45%. So India is 45%, China is 50%. Proportion of irrigated area is more in India as compared to China is wrong. Then the average productivity per hectare in Indian agriculture is higher than that in China. Now I'll tell you guys, if you take oil seeds, India's productivity is higher than any of the neighboring countries, including China. But when it comes to paddy, right, wheat cultivation, China's productivity is more than half of India's productivity. So now comes, they have given in general. So we are not sure which crop are they talking about. So these statements may be taken from a particular article. I have seen FAO. I have also seen India's reports. But anywhere, if you check, right, productivity is more in China compared to India, and there are several articles criticizing why India is not able to compete. Only in oil seeds, India is having an edge. So going by that logic, this statement is also wrong. But according to me, only one is correct. But if this is being taken from a specific article, right, because UPSC normally when it gives questions, it might be taken from a specific article, and in that article, if the things vary, there can be a doubt. Fine. So this you can take a guess, but 99% possibility this is correct. Which one of the following is the best example of repeated falls in sea level giving rise to present day extensive marshland? I have clearly mentioned that run of Kutch was once upon a time under Arabian Sea. If you recollect, I told you, Dwarka during Sri Krishna's period actually went into, and then it has come out. That is how we try to see this run of Kutch region, and the repetitively moving out has led to what we call as run of Kutch. Fine. This was a direct question, guys. Ilmenite and rutile is of titanium oxide. Due to electric vehicles, these aspects have become very important nowadays, guys. We should be aware about such things. About 3/4 of the world's cobalt, a metal required for the manufacture of batteries for electric motor vehicles, is produced by, see guys, this was in news mainly because of child rights. Democratic Republic of Congo actually produces 60 to 70% of the world's cobalt that is required for electric vehicles. But the fear is mostly it is being extracted or mined by children. Children are being used. That's why this issue was in the newspaper, and this is the correct answer. Fine. These are all current affairs based. Which one of the following is a part of Congo Basin? See this. Directly from the map, Cameroon is from the Congo Basin. This question can be answered with the help of logic. If you have clarity, it would be easier. You see, Amarkantak Hills. Okay, so you might have heard about Amarkantak Hills from what we call as Narmada River point of view. Are at the confluence of Vindhya and Sahyadri. What is Sahyadri? Is Western Ghats. Vindhyas means they are coming like this. They are at the confluence means here. If they are at the confluence of this, how does Narmada flow through Vindhyas and Satpuras? So this statement is wrong. When you are calm in the examination hall, mind works. Biligiri Rangan Hills, yes, Biligiri Rangana Betta or hills is in Karnataka, and they say it is easternmost part of Satpura. Satpura is in Madhya Pradesh. So this is wrong. Seshachalam Hills, the movie Pushpa, where they are talking about the Eastern Ghats, but they have given about Western Ghats. And I have clearly given in the class notes, you can see Western Ghats. Cardamom Hills is the southernmost part of Western Ghats. So all the three statements are wrong. So it is none. 6. Again, class notes. This is both IR and geography. East-West corridor under Golden Quadrilateral project connects Silchar to Porbandar. Silchar to Porbandar. This is wrong. Trilateral highway, More in Manipur, not Chiang Mai. Actually, Chiang Mai is in northern part, but we are trying to connect closer to the port in Thailand. Everything is correct, but they have made this mistake. These are all difficult things to identify, guys, because trilateral highway which connects IMT, India, Myanmar, Thailand is clear. But if you look at this particular part is the dispute, right? This is in the northern side. It is if something is connecting Bangalore, they have given it as Delhi. So that's why this is wrong. Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar, class notes you see, Kolkata Kunming Initiative, I have clearly given, right? So this is not Varanasi, but this is Kolkata. Kolkata to Kunming in China. So this is also wrong. None. It is not Varanasi, but it is Kolkata. With reference to Earth's atmosphere, this is a very beautiful question. Guys, we spend almost 8 hours to learn atmosphere. People say, why so much? If you see from last 5 to 6 years, every year, a question is there on this particular aspect. So, first most important thing, you need to have clarity. If I say solar insolation, 50% will be infrared rays, 40% will be visible light, and 10% will be UV rays. Correct? So now, the amount of insolation received at the equator is roughly 10 times of that received near the poles. One basic thing. In geography, multiple times I have told you, if you see a number, it's absolutely wrong. Even this statement is wrong. Fine. Insolation will be almost equal, but when it comes to the surface, the spread area will be different. Infrared rays constitute roughly 2/3, but infrared constitutes 50%. This is wrong. Infrared waves are largely absorbed by water vapor that is concentrated in the lower atmosphere. Now, if you open class notes, atmosphere chapter, I have given within 3 kilometers from the Earth's surface, we have water vapor, right? Second, water vapor absorbs incoming solar radiation, outgoing terrestrial radiation, and infrared waves are largely absorbed by water vapor that is concentrated in the lower atmosphere is correct. Infrared waves are part of visible spectrum. Visible spectrum is these two, right? 40%, that is different from this. So this is also wrong. Consider the following statements. This, if you are not answering, right, that means you have not understood the logic at all. Spoon feeding doesn't work in this exam. You should have clarity. You see, the soil in tropical rainforest is rich in nutrients. Let us think logically. What is tropical rainforest? High rainfall, high temperature. High rainfall, what is going to happen? Water percolates down. And as water percolates down, everything is leached. That is the reason why you have shifting agriculture. The first statement is wrong. If first statement is wrong, you see, statement 1 and 2 are correct. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. The only option that you have is this. Right? So this is basic fundamental things. If this is not clear, right? Even in the class notes, you see soils, you see laterite soil, you see, at the same time rainforest, you see. Why do we have shifting agriculture? We have written all these things in the notes. So that's why I'm telling you, see the notes. If I don't dictate, you will feel, okay, this is not being taught. But as you have written every point, you get to know that yes, this is correct. This is little tricky, guys, but let us look into it. The temperature contrast between continents and oceans is greater during summer than in winter. See, guys, we have continent and we have oceans. What does the question try to say? Let me say summer and let us talk about winter. What is summer? Like, you know, land temperature, let me say it became somewhere around 35 degrees Celsius. Water temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Winter, like, you know, winter, this is approximately, let me say, it is like 23 degrees Celsius and land is 20 degrees Celsius. So the difference here is approximately 10 degrees Celsius. Difference here is approximately 3 degrees Celsius. Why? Land receives sun's rays and get heated soon. Isotherms, land breeze, sea breeze, temperature topic, if you take, I have clearly given these numbers as well. If you see the diagrams that you have drawn, I have clearly given the numbers as well. So if you go by that logic, summer difference is more compared to winter. So this statement is absolutely right. The specific heat of water is more than that of the land. Now, I have given why land is hotter compared to water during summers or during day. 5 points we have written. Solar insolation penetrates less in the land and penetrates more in water. Second point, specific heat required to rise temperature of the land by 1 degree Celsius is less compared to specific heat required to rise the temperature by 1 degree of water. Second point, clearly I have mentioned the specific heat of water is more than that of the land surface. Right? So both Statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is correct explanation of statement 1. This is like, cakewalk, easy question. In a seismograph, P waves are recorded earlier. What is P waves? Primary waves. Why is it called primary waves? Because it appear first in the seismograph. Done. What are S waves? They are secondary waves. They appear later. Done. How does P waves move? I have given compression, rarefaction, compression, rarefaction, compression, rarefaction. So how does it move? Parallel, you see. How does S waves move? S waves move like this. And clearly I have given you, it moves perpendicular. The individual particles vibrate to and fro in the direction of the wave propagation. Whereas in S waves, the particles vibrate up and down at right angles to the direction of the wave propagation. Fine? Both the statements are correct. This was very simple question. So guys, finally, these were geography based questions directly from the class notes. There were at least 8 questions which you could solve if you have seen the questions carefully. 3 to 4 by application, 2 to 3 was out of the box. I agree. But what I'm trying to tell you, just imagine this. When you are spoon fed without understanding the logic, when you try to by heart, when you don't see the map, will you be able to answer the questions? Do you know how much time we spend in these basic aspects? And on that day itself, if you repeat, this is the reason I keep telling, class notes is more than enough. When you people choose institutions which simply try to spoon feed you every day, okay, one topic is completed, on that topic 100 questions will come, without clarity, when you try to understand, it is of no use. Newspapers are the one which you need to read. Economic survey, budget, these are the areas from where questions have come. If you keep reading some 365 is like, year-long materials that are available, hardly you get questions. And if you don't read newspapers from the beginning, we too don't have choice to tell you anything else, right? So we sincerely request you to think before you take up any decision about your preparation. A proper class and proper guidance is very, very important. Nowadays, people are able to crack if they get that hand holding. Fine. So any doubts, anytime if you have, please feel free to contact us. Our new batches will be starting soon. So if any of your juniors or friends are about to join, you can intimate them. Thank you. Yeah. So next you'll have history live session. You can see those questions as well. Thank you.